back. Oh my word. I'm really excited and expectant for this one. First and foremost, thank God for this opportunity once again. I'm really, really blessed to be back. We are really blessed to be back. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome back to From the Cape Flats podcast. I'm not alone, of course. As you can see, I'm alongside Mr. Regan Allen. Very excited to have Mr. Regan Allen here with us today. Today's episode is called Speak It. Okay, we'll definitely unpack that. But of course, as always, good hello. If you didn't catch the last podcast episode, it was called Jesus is King, and I'm really, really excited for this one because we're definitely going to hear why he is king some more today, and definitely some of the things that have been spoken into existence. And yeah, just the fruits of that. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you, Mr. Regan Allen. Do you want to say hello to everyone? Yeah, what are you feeling currently?
It's Saturday.
Yes.
Liverpool are
Oh.
still top of the log. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me here. The fact that you've had people like Bolin Parker, Vicky Sampson on here, I feel deeply honored. So thank you for having me.
Wow, thank you. Oh, Liverpool support. I don't know how we got that wrong, guys. Dream team, please. We need to. Our guest selection.
Your
eh?
vetting is off.
But my surname is the Vet, so
Okay.
I love it. So we've already had like a podcast session here, so I'm really excited to continue this. But before we get into anything like inspirational, there's something that I like to do with all of the guests, which is called rapid fire. So it's a fun quiz, 25 seconds. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you need to answer that in the time frame of 25 seconds. So you just choose one of the options, right? Don't worry, it's very chilled. I'm just getting my timer quickly. There you are. But I do also like talk in between, Regan, so please forgive me. No? Okay, thank you. Cool, the timer started. So, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Comedy or politics?
That's a very difficult one. Can I skip that one?
Alright, you are welcome to this. No skipping rope here. But anyway, long walks. Interestingly, long walks or sunset drives with Eds.
Both.
It's also hard, no?
Yes.
Okay, the time is up, but you're right. Chicken or beef?
Beef.
If it's in bloom, okay. Oh, never mind. Sneakers or kerkskoene?
Sneakers.
Okay. For those that don't know, kerkskoene is like formal shoes, church
Yes.
shoes. No? Okay. You did quite well. I think I knew all of maybe the chicken or the beef. I wasn't sure, and obviously the long drives or sunsets. I wasn't sure about. Do you want to say? Yes,
If you
go
were going to say if it's Nando's or
for it. Okay.
then I
this-
would have probably said chicken. But otherwise,
agree.
beef works.
I agree. Nando's is always like liquor. Don't worry, they're not sponsoring us yet.
That's why we're getting them to actually sponsor now.
Yes. We're speaking it into existence. The episode is called Speak It. I love it. So this part of the podcast is where we like to inspire our guests. So I know you're going to be inspirational with story time. But if just today or this week, if there's one thing that inspired you this week, please share that. It maybe a download or whatever the case may be, something that maybe it was just even a conversation that you had. Please do share anything that inspired you today. Or this week, rather.
I think it's very clear in our society that when you see someone helping someone else, and I'm always about making sure that we are able to pay it forward. In my life, in my journey, I've been helped. So in this week, I actually saw someone helping someone else when the person did not even ask
Wow.
to be helped. And I think that gives you motivation
Wow.
that we are all part of a community, that we are connected. So paying it forward, knowing that you've been helped and that you want to always pay it forward.
Wow, that's amazing. Because sometimes, thank you for sharing. Sometimes we want to help maybe to be seen or help to be known or whatever the case may be. But we don't, man. Like it's
And don't post it on Facebook. Please, don't post it on Facebook.
yes.
I remember I was 16
Wow.
And
Oh, so you're not 16 now?
not
Sorry.
anymore. I just turned 21.
Oh,
So at the age of 16, there were people that helped my family, and I used to get groceries, and I need to walk home with the groceries. But at the age of 16, you are starting to notice the girls. And then the girls would see, but here Regan, after youth and after church, Regan is carrying groceries as if he went to Woolworths or as if he went
Wow.
to ShopRite. And you feel slightly embarrassed. But obviously, when you get home, there's food.
Yes.
So you're happy.
yes, of course.
But I wouldn't want someone else to see that I'm doing good or that I'm doing it for Facebook.
Yo. I love that. I'm not gonna add anything there. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. I know the next part of this conversation is really gonna be inspirational. I've had the honor as well to hear you speak recently in Bloemfontein. And for me, I was like, yo, this is for me. And this was even before we already established that you were going to be on the podcast, right? Before we went to Bloemfontein. So I'm super expectant, like I mentioned, to get into the rest of the story time. And so, as you know, it's called Speak It. And for obvious reasons of that, you know, that means something so much deeper for you, right? And so for those watching today, for those tuning in or going to listen or that are connected, tell us who Regan Allen is. You know, some about your upbringing, what you're willing to share, and really just, you know, your story and what brings you here to From the Cape Flats podcast today.
I'm Regan Allen. I'm,
Oh, hi, good to meet you.
Thank you. I'm from the Cape Flats, born and bred in Mitchell's Plain,
Oh, really?
an area that I firmly believe will always be a home in my heart.
Welcome back.
I'm glad to be here. And it's an area that has shaped me. I have the honor and the privilege of currently serving as the Deputy Speaker in the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. And I remember having a dream, having a hope to be the first person that was born in Mitchell's Plain that's elected to our provincial parliament. In 2018, that happened. Prior to this particular role, I've held other positions, but it's never been about a position. It's been about wanting to make a difference, wanting to impact people's lives, because I've seen it in my life. Along the journey, people came, soccer coaches. I was very good at soccer.
Okay.
I wanted to be a pro soccer player. Toured Sweden at the
Wow.
age of 17. 10 years later, I watched some of the players that was with me in Sweden playing for Bafana Bafana. Then I was watching on the TV. But life took a different direction. And over the last few years, been involved in active politics, wanting to make a difference. But also there's community initiatives that I form part of that's very close to my heart. But most importantly, I want to be a person that can bring about change, make a difference, because my story should never have happened. It shouldn't have happened because at the age of 4, on the Cape Flats, whenever your garment appears to rip,
Like clothes, no?
yes,
Yes.
there's a flame that is used in order to stop the ripping from continuing. And I saw my parents do it. I saw other people do it. I attempted to use a match. My vest caught fire. And the shouting and the screaming affected my nervous system so that I developed a speech impediment. But out there on the soccer field, I could shout, I could scream. I felt the most alive. But in talking to people, it was very difficult. I've since overcame that particular issue because it can hinder you. You feel embarrassed, and on the Cape Flats, sadly, we still make fun of someone that stutters, and we shouldn't never do it because it can break that particular person.
Yes.
But it was made more difficult because someone applied Colgate to the wound. I like to say my smile is over here because in bringing smiles, making someone's journey or life better, took me into attempting comedy in
What do you know?
2017 and 2018. I felt alive. You could use socioeconomic circumstances to highlight an issue without making fun of our people, because I'm one of those people. Talk about drug abuse, talk about my upbringing, school, in a way where you can highlight bullying, show it's wrong, and ultimately show that you can actually overcome with storytelling. I apparently won an award, which I still don't believe, but I have reference at home. I was nominated for a Savannah Comics Choice Award.
Wow.
I was flown up to Johannesburg, all because you are using the art form to tell a story, to express yourself, and knowing that I struggled to talk. Now I can talk a lot to make up for the times I couldn't speak, but to be able to stand in front of people
Yeah.
and know that your story matters, and the art is something that we have used on the Cape Flats. Humor especially, it masks our pain,
Our pain, yeah.
our trauma, stuff that we generally don't speak about. We can make fun of, but without making fun of our people, because it's still people and their stories.
Yes. Theo, thank you for sharing that, Regan. So, like being from Mitchell's Plain, we're both actually from the same neighborhood. Maybe we're playing in the road. I don't know, Rocklands. We're both from Rocklands.
And then we must go home as soon as the lights come on.
Yes, yeah. Were you playing barefoot outside? Yeah, no, me too.
I still have the
Proud.
evidence.
No, you don't
so-
have to show us, but
Okay.
Um,
I was just
But
about to
yeah.
take my tackies off.
but yeah, and that's the reality, no? You have to go home before the lights, no? Comes on because it's not safe, no? And that was some of the, and still today, some of the issues and things that we're dealing with on the Cape Flats, and of course we are in Mitchell's Plain today. I mean, a lot has changed. However, I do believe it's still very evident and in our communities, right? And so, of course, you are, and why you are here today, because of your story, like you're saying, storytelling, because of your story, and because you know pain, you know what it is to struggle, you know what it is to have something, or not to have something that someone else does have, right? And it led you to where you are today, right? And so it's so profound to share stories like this, and I mean it's amazing. There's a part of your story that I never heard before, and for me it's like this can only be God, no? Like we must not forget, and because I also fell short of this, like being ashamed of sharing that. Yes, there's certain reasons why these things had to happen to you, to me, to whoever, but because one day it's going to be a testimony for someone else, right? And so for me, it's really like inevitable to continue telling stories like this, because there's someone still running in the road, maybe looking up to Regan Allen, maybe looking up to Stanford or Zach or Althea, and so it's beautiful to be able to be sitting here today, man, and just hearing this, and it's I was so inspired in Bloemfontein just hearing that, and I was like, there's definitely so many people that can relate. Maybe it's not the same thing, but it's similar. And so I do want to say thank you for not being ashamed to share your story, and for walking in this, and for allowing. I know it. I believe it was Apostle Roger Peterson that spoke, to you before you were even in. I mean, I don't know if you want to share, how. Please.
Before I answer,
Yes.
I think it's vital to identify that when you come from a community anywhere on the Cape Flats, we have a history
Yeah.
of apartheid, of colonialism within our country, and we are still seeing the remnants
Yes.
thereof.
Yes.
We are still seeing a people that is ashamed. We are still seeing a people that when they go for something, they aren't always sure
Yeah.
if that is for me.
Yeah.
We always feel that we need to work twice as hard in order to get half of what other people have.
Yeah.
And knowing that we have a place and that we have purpose, that has been part of the drive. And people like Apostle Roger Peterson play that vital role in my life. Knowing that you have someone that can encourage you,
Yeah.
that can propel you into your future, despite where you come from.
Yes.
Because here on the Cape Flats, we have seen gangsterism, drug abuse, and the socioeconomic circumstances, poverty, inequality. It's rife.
Yeah.
The one thing that I love about the Cape Flats is that we have seen social cohesion, which ultimately means that the degree to which a community is connected
Yes.
and trust within a community. I remember, I think it's 1999. Now I'm giving my age away.
So it's not
And it's 1999, and I get my very first Levi.
The shoe,
And
no? Levi.
no, the
shoe.
jean.
The jeans. The jeans. Yes.
Yes. You're from a different generation. And I get my very first Levi, and after a few wears, I wash it. And someone stole it off our line. And
In Rocklands now.
in Rocklands. And someone actually came to me.
Wait, which road did you live in?
My dad still lives there, so I
Okay.
would rather not want to
Okay.
give the
No, I
actual
got you.
name, but it's in Rocklands.
Got
Those
you.
that know me, it's in Rocklands. And someone came to me within 5 minutes saying, Regan, they are selling wet Levi's on the corner. And Mitchell's Plain created online shopping back in the day already in the 90s. But that trust, that community, looking out for one another. And when we see that there's a lack of social cohesion within a community, we actually see levels of crime increasing, where we're only looking after our own property and no longer after the property of our friends and of our neighbors, etc. Uncles and aunts could scale us and we would show the respect, knowing that if you go home and you say another uncle was scaling you, you will get another hiding at home. And that level of social cohesion is what kept many of us on the Cape Flats alive. I was nine and a half
Okay.
when the station strangler was arrested. It's one of the stories that stick out for me because in the road where we lived, I lived about 700 meters away from Carradale Primary. And it's a short run. But we used to run from my house around the corner to a friend, and then we are two. And then we run another 100 meters and we get another friend. That way we looked out for one another.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was the early 90s. He tormented, or the idea of the station strangler tormented many. Any stranger became a danger, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's also how we could run away from despair. We could run away from problems at times. But that was always how we grouped together. Playing soccer until the owner of the ball is upset and runs away with his ball, or when the light goes on. But that community,
Yeah.
it's where you're from, it's what you have seen, and our stories matter.
Yes.
Our stories matter of overcoming, always looking on the bright side and being able to laugh. You can go into a home here in Mitchell's Plain
Yeah.
where you are able to see poverty. At times you can smell poverty,
Yeah.
but there will often be laughter in the house. And it carries us
Yes.
to such an extent. And I would love to see that people on the Cape Flats, where we see poverty being alleviated, I would almost wanted to use the word that it must be eradicated
Yes.
out of our communities,
Yes.
so that we can see people realizing their full potential. There were guys that played better soccer than what I am, but they never thought, for example, there's people here on the Cape Flats that's far more clever than what I am, that potentially should hold the position that I am. And I want to see that potential being unleashed
Yes.
in so many others.
Yes, and the beauty of that is you've gone through similar things that they still may be going through, that they've been through, and you could only do it because, of course, we can't forget, because of God's grace. And like you mentioned, the community, the people that you're connected to, the church family, the family that you have, our environments are important. And so I believe if you didn't have that support structure, you wouldn't have been here today, sitting here today.
You are 100% correct. We exist for one another. You can see that within one family. If one of the sons or daughters do well, go and study, it can ultimately mean that those that are following
Yes.
will also be able
Yes.
to reach their potential
Yeah.
and go for what they want in life. And that's essentially, if I think about the Cape Flats, I often see that community to a large extent has been eroded. Eroded to such a extent that sadly fathers are no longer present. The latest figure is that 49% of households grow up without a dad.
Wow.
And
That's a-
shout out
that's a
to all
big
the
amount.
single moms that are
Yes.
doing amazing, holding communities down. I don't know where we'll be if we didn't have the contribution of females within our
Yes.
society.
Yes.
But largely, how we are needing to make sure that community can grow and we look out for one another. There my stutter almost came back again. Especially when I get too excited,
No, I love it.
because this is a topic.
Yes.
It's a topic that we need to talk about.
Yes, some more. Yes.
That on the Cape Flats, it's not just about gang violence
Amen.
and about crime, but it's about the people,
Yes.
and that history
Yes.
of that people is so
Yes.
vital.
Yes.
Why are we the way we are? Life has not always been easy. Growing up on the Cape Flats, you are needing to navigate. You need to read the room or the road to see if you will get robbed.
Yeah.
And instead of having an atmosphere you can walk freely. Just for the record, I've never been robbed in my life. And research here shows that you've either been robbed or you are the robber. I've never been robbed.
Thank you, Regan.
I was a
So-
victim of online shopping, which, okay, I've been robbed.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Althea needs extra coffee or something. Yes.
Barcelona. I did want some more, but anyway. So thank you for sharing that, Regan. Yeah, no, it's like the jokes never get old, no? But I love it. We have to we have to, like you mentioned earlier on, it's part of what keeps us going, right? And I mean we now know, no? I mean, I'm sure at that age or at 21, 16, maybe 21, 16, you didn't know our creator as you do now, right? And he's a creative, so he's a humorous God. He understands, no? But I do want to quickly just share a quick scripture that one of my friends actually helped me with, to to really, like, when we were thinking of you and your story, because of course we've heard it. I've never heard this version of it, and it's always so refreshing. So just I do believe there's someone watching today that or listening in that needs to hear this. So it's Exodus 4 verse 11. The Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." And of course, this is really testament to who you are and where you are today, right? And then Exodus 7 says, "Then the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like a god to Pharaoh." And in this context, I would say your speech impediment could have been your Pharaoh, right? And your brother Aaron will be your prophet, right? And so please do hold me accountable, the Dream Team. I do actually want to try and have the Word of God with me at every recording we do. And so reading this and just reflecting on it earlier, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, God's Word is so profound, man. Like, this was written how many years ago? But it's relevant still today, right? And so in your life, obviously, still today, or at the time, it was the person that encouraged you was Apostle Roger, right? And so, like we're saying, like you need to have good people around you, right? Surrounded, that you are surrounded by. Sometimes it's not always possible to be like as close as in your home. I mean, I do believe some homes in Mitchell's Plain still today, or from the Cape Flats rather. I'm very biased to Mitchell's Plain because I'm also from the community of Mitchell's Plain. My grandmother still lives here in the area as well. So we don't always get that privilege, man, to even hear the word of God, or to be encouraged by someone, because that can just that word, is hope that you need, to continue and to carry on. And so it's truly really a blessing for you to have had that type of support, like we mentioned, and have someone affirm you. Because I mean, let's be real, if you didn't have that person at the time, do you believe you would have been here today, or where you at? Or I mean, God has a way of working things out, but of course He's put people in our lives as well. So
you mentioned two things that I just want to pick up. One is you mentioned hope, and hope in despair, hope when you see nothing is very difficult. But it's when you have that people that can affirm you. Because if we are not affirmed, we ultimately lose the hope that we have.
Yeah.
But secondly, it leads us into a life of potential devastation. What I mean by that is that we have seen gang culture. And in gang culture, guys are often affirmed. It's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
And they are affirmed to such an extent that they are willing to die for one another instead of living for their own family, instead of living for their community, living for their country and making a difference, impacting the world. They would rather want to fight over a so-called territory that does not belong to them in order to advance a particular gang. And too many young boys are no longer being affirmed by their father, by someone that they ultimately look up to, and they find that connection and brotherhood within the gang. So if I consider all those that have played a vital role in my life, I consider it a privilege that I've had people to hold me accountable, that can speak into my life, even when I was unable to see it for myself.
Yeah.
It was my teacher at Glendale High.
Shout out to Glendale.
And yes, the only school in Mitchell's Plain with its own swimming pool.
Oh, wow.
Manandi Beach is our swimming pool. But at that particular school, and I will mention her, she's an amazing lady, also here from Mitchell's Plain, is Mrs. Wessels. And in matric, Mrs. Wessels knew that I would be too shy to even ask a girl to go with me to the matric ball. There was also no money for shoes or for suit. So in my mind, I was not going to go to my matric ball. And Miss Wessels knew. She arranged for me to see or look at 2 photos, 2 of her nieces, and I could pick. And I felt so amazing. I can actually pick, and it was pretty girls. I don't know their names, but pretty girls that's way out of my league. And I just said, I'll tell you again, miss. But in my own way, she knew. To be too difficult, you can't dance, firstly. And how am I going to hold a conversation with a girl? A few years ago, I was privileged to MC a birthday celebration of Mrs. Wessels. And knowing that full circle, when we connected dots moving backward, we actually increase our hope. Knowing where we come from, knowing that we have overcome, and that increases the hope. And when we share our stories for someone else, hope can ultimately increase and grow in their lives, because I should not have been here. And if I can quickly share, in my parents being from Bonteheuwel, growing up in Bonteheuwel, and it was when I was 9.5 months, and I've been told the story so often that I feel that I can somehow remember some parts of it. But I was 9.5 months. My parents, together with my older sister and my older brother is since departed, he's no longer with us. But we went to Bonteheuwel from Kapteinsklip Station. And we got off at Netreg. Probably an amazing day with family in Bonteheuwel, laughing, smiling, etc. On the way home in Modderdam Laan, my mom saw a family, a man and a wife, fighting, and it's gender-based violence, which is all too common in our communities. Saw this couple fighting, and she knew the couple. According to her then, that she wanted to intervene and stop, because that's how my mom was. And a vehicle, an old Datsun bin, on the Cape Flats, it was known as the poor person's sports car.
Wow.
I dislike that car. But the car came around the bend, drunk driver, and he was approaching. According to my family, or my dad, my mom threw me to my dad.
Okay.
My dad claims that he caught me. But I have a slight suspicion I may have knocked my head. But he claims he caught me. The car got hold of my mom, dragged her from the one road up until the other road into Modderdam.
Sure.
And she was in what we called Conradie Hospital, which was in the 80s and the 90s known as the accident hospital.
Sure.
After 9 months, she came home with orthopedic shoes. The doctor told her she will never give birth again. But my mom was the person that you mustn't challenge because I have a younger sister and a younger brother. But her pelvis broken, legs broken, collarbones broken, head open. My dad not knowing if his wife is going to ever come back. Will she be the same person? That led him to make some choices in his life that was very difficult to grow up with. He is totally restored and recovered for the last 9 years because that life of drug abuse can destroy the fabric of our society. He's a role model, like my mom was. We used to put on her orthopedic shoes, and I felt like this is probably the closest I'll get to ever feel like a superhero, because she shouldn't have walked. She shouldn't have been alive, but it was a drunk driver. And we have seen the effects of alcohol abuse in our society. And I would want to encourage persons here
Yeah.
that never to get behind the vehicle when you know you are intoxicated.
Yeah.
What should have been a normal day, a Saturday visiting family,
Yeah.
turned our entire life around and caused devastation
Yes.
on our family.
Yes.
But also the gender-based violence matter. That if my mom wasn't the person that she was, she probably would have just walked by. I love the fact that my mom wanted to intervene. I probably would want to intervene because there's social ills that we need to get out of the Cape
Okay.
Flats
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that it can be known as a community that is thriving, a community where there's togetherness, and that we all ultimately can achieve our goals.
Amen.
My sister says to me that when she thinks back to the day, she can still smell the rubber from the tire marks. So when I say I wouldn't have been here, I shouldn't have been here, I definitely now want to live
Yeah.
every day because my life could have been different.
Yes.
It could have ended even before
Mm.
the actual age of 1.
Yo. Yo. Shoo. Like I said earlier on, there's definitely more that I'm learning and being inspired by. I mean, you already touched, thank you for sharing again, Regan. You already touched on what's so significant about being from the Cape Flats, right? And so maybe just 3 quick things that you just want to share, just to solidify what we've basically already been conversing about. Yeah, so because I think people forget, man, the importance of being from a community like Mitchell's Plain or being from any other community on the Cape Flats. So just three points, please.
I think language, the way we talk,
Speak it.
there's mannerisms that you can just see you are from the Cape Flats. I love those mannerisms. I hate the fact that some of us don't wear belt. I would want us all to wear belt because the jean hanging is not cool. But there's mannerisms, community. We have seen community over the last few years being eroded. I would want to see it back to how it was in the 90s when you can see people stand up for one another and don't break one another down. But also the sense that within the Cape Flats, there is a celebration that is needed. Because I know of so many from the Cape Flats that are doing amazing things, whose journeys and whose stories should also not have been.
Yes.
It has produced a number of persons that have gone on to do amazing things. And I think we need to celebrate one another more.
Yeah.
We are often known for dragging one another down.
Yeah.
We have what is often referred to as crab syndrome, that if you put one crab in a bowl at the beach, a fisherman, that crab will be able to crawl out. But as soon as you put 2 crabs in a bowl, the one will follow the other one and he will drag him down before he can get out.
Yeah.
Even though there's space for all of us to get out and to make a difference. So to not drag each other down,
Yeah.
encourage one another because there's enough place under the sun. And that's probably the one thing that I would like to see changed. We see it all too often on social media. We drag each other instead of encouraging one another because we feel as if I need to drag someone else down for me to get shine,
Yeah.
which breaks your heart at times, knowing that it's so difficult for so many.
Yeah.
I support Liverpool because an uncle in our road had Mnet. And we couldn't afford Mnet. And I was 9. And it was the only way to go to his house and watch a game. So I support Liverpool because he's a Liverpool fan. But that's how community and how community is set up.
Yeah.
We share food.
Thank you. Sure. So, I mean, you've mentioned you come from the comedy space before. You've been in the political space, right? And so, maybe people watching, tuned in, connected us, or in the comedy space, and feel, oh no, this is. I'm just doing this because, or I just want to make people laugh, or we've had the conversation earlier on about like you have some comedians, and I respect the craft, right? I respect the art form. They often use profanity, swearing in their comedy, right? And so maybe you want to share what the comedy space taught you today, and maybe it's something that you still, or some things that you still implement. Please.
I think those in comedy and those that are doing well is extremely talented. People like Trevor Noah, and we'll probably not produce another Trevor Noah for the next 10 or 20 years. What he has achieved. And comedy, you require a level of skill and intellect in order to craft a story that takes an unexpected turn, so that you get, or you ultimately make people laugh, or you do a callback on a particular joke that you mentioned earlier on. And you need to actually be clever to do comedy. So it's an art form that takes skill, but it also allows you to read the room. And in politics, I've had to read the room, know when to say a certain matter, how you say it, because the pause for effect is so vital. The language you use. And in my speech impediment, for example, there were certain words that I stuttered on. So I changed my entire vocabulary to start with words that were easier to breathe out.
Wow.
And words, what we say, how we say it, body language is so vital, and it's an art form that I appreciate, that I can ultimately enjoy watching.
And you still do today, right? You still?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
In 2018, when I was elected to Parliament, a particular, I won't name the publication, wanted to do the headline, Joker elected to Parliament. And the work of Parliament is vital. Everyone that's not interested in politics must actually get interested, because politics affects our lives.
Yes.
What happens within a ward affects us. And the governance of our country is so vital. And if we are so disconnected, it ultimately means we are not playing that active role.
Wow.
But in me wanting to make that shift, because if people just associate comedy to you, they might not take me too serious, even though I would say something that is very serious. And the publication didn't publish it, Joker elected. I managed to not give any quote or
Wow.
not give anything, because I wanted to make sure that that can land. But comedy has helped me. I was very shy, and now you need to go and talk, and you put yourself out there, not knowing if people will laugh. So it definitely made me grow as a person, made me more confident even as a person,
Wow.
knowing that we can share a view that will hold up. And obviously the speaking. I still sound like I'm definitely from Mitchell's Plain. I would never want to lose that Mitchell's Plain
Yes.
flavor.
Yes.
I would never want to lose our tone. Even if I speak in Parliament, or if I speak sitting here with you, I would still know. I can identify. This sounds like someone from the Cape Flats, because I'm extremely proud of our resilience. And before I hand over to you,
Yeah.
earlier on you mentioned about being resilient. Althea, it's a word that is often associated to the Cape Flats. We are people that is resilient. Over the last few years, I've started to despise the word, because I wouldn't want the next generation to go through trauma, to go through devastation, only to become resilient,
Yeah.
to go through heartache
Yo.
and pain, only for them to be resilient. I would want them to live a life where they don't need to be faced with gender-based violence, even in their youth days, or faced the prospect of not having money or opportunities to go and study and to become resilient. Even though I love the word, it's an amazing word because it shows that the human perseverance. But I've slightly become where I despise the word that we are so often, no, I'm a resilient person, but I've had to go through a whole lot
First, yeah.
to become that person that will stand up. I know it's a conflicting
And it's interesting.
way of saying it, but that's currently, we need to, there must be heartache and heart sore and pain and trauma for us essentially to become resilient.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to wish it on anyone.
It's interesting that you're mentioning that contrast. I actually believe it's something that we should naturally be born with, right? Resilience. Because like you're saying, it's actually perseverance, and it is a bit of a contrast, because sometimes, like, even in the word, like it says that we must go through something, we must persevere, right? And I think that's maybe the uniqueness between perseverance and enduring, right? Because I mean, Jesus also had to endure. And I do believe we've actually been freely gifted that resilience already, because he's already experienced it, he's already gone through it. And so that's quite the interesting contrast that you've made there.
And to press forward.
Yes.
Because I've heard of so many stories that once a sibling presses and perseveres, it's easier for those that are following in that sibling's footsteps.
Sure. Regan, before we say goodbye to everyone tuned in, connected today, so I'm going to put the last two questions in oneness, in unity, together. So what do you consider, as impact, in your daily life, in your profession? And at the same time, please just inspire those tuned in today. You've already been such an inspiration. And so just, before we say goodbye, what would you like to leave? Any even advice you'd like to leave, or guidance with whoever is going to tune in?
I think if one person comes back and says that you have helped, it goes a long way. And there has been so many that I feel privileged and honored that I've been able to help, because so many helped in my life. The work we do is so vital because it speaks directly to how budget is allocated and how budget is spent. And I find it extremely an honor. My grammar is slightly off. I find it an honor to be able to play that role in Parliament and to make sure that you are able to hold government accountable.
Wow.
And that you are able to meaningfully participate
Yeah.
within our democracy. But it's your day-to-day where you're able to help someone. That for me is the most impactful work, because if you are able to help someone else and you pay it forward, that person will then do the same for someone else. Because we all, whether we are well off or not, all of us will need people along the way. And I think that must always be the spirit in what we operate in, that we are wanting to make a difference, paying it forward. So if anyone is listening to me, by simply sharing this particular podcast, is paying it forward to you.
Oh, wow.
So that more people are able to see what you are doing, because the Cape Flats shouldn't be the place that is only associated to bad stuff, but also to good that is happening within the community. And to impact the lives of others, be it in small gestures, because often we feel that we need a whole lot of money to make a difference. You ultimately just need a willing heart.
Wow.
To make that difference and to impact someone's life. When I was 18, someone bought me Dettol
Wow.
soap the yellow one. I still like it, still like the smell because it reminds me of that auntie that probably smelled me as an 18-year-old and bought me Dettol soap that I will never forget. That someone showed kindness.
Yes.
And when I fail or when I'm not delivering the way I should be, there were people like Pastor Roger that would again affirm you that tomorrow's a better day. You can look forward to tomorrow and to always strive to be the best that we possibly can
Yeah.
and
Wow.
not have that imposter syndrome where we feel, no, we shouldn't be at this table.
Yeah.
When I was elected to Parliament, I was in the same Parliament where someone like Helen Ziller served. And Helen Ziller came to my school when I was at Glendale.
Wow. Yeah.
And I vividly remember her telling the school, you can be whatever you want to be, you can dream. And to then be able to serve with her in Parliament was an honor. So there's always people that you can look up to.
Yes.
Find role models, find people that you are able to, that can identify with your story and that will help you navigate this thing called life.
Yes.
I think I will leave it
Yes.
there.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Eric and Ellen, for your time today. It's really been, wow, amazing, man. Like I mentioned earlier on, there's so much that I'm inspired by, and I'm so certain that there's so many people that are going to be inspired, or even just that one, as Regan has already mentioned. And so, yes, thank you so much, Regan. Again, thank you to the dream team. Thank you for yes being here and just, yeah, man. I think there's so many thank yous to give and to share. But for the sake of time, I'm really appreciative, of the time today. And so, yes, if you are watching, listening, please stay connected to From the Cape Flats podcast. And yeah, we'll continue to inspire as we are inspired. Thank you. We'll chat soon.
Bye.